quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you say
She's
categorically,
asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. Thank you for joining me today. We are available 24/7 at davejanda.com. Extra shows, content, guests, analysis, archives to all of our shows. Present 24/7 there. Very safe and secure location. And it's content I cannot go into on any social media platform or on the radio. I have contacts that I've developed over the past 36 years behind the curtain that bring information forward that put you months, if not years, ahead of the curve. It is present at davejanda.com. Stop on by. Become a member of our Freedom family. Our premium service content and subscription service that involves access to all of our archives plus access to our commercial-free podcast from our radio show, which is 3 hours every Sunday from 2 to 5, great guests. Our WTF show every Wednesday where I bring information forward from behind the curtain that I cannot speak about on social media platforms or on the radio. Our Insider Insight show where I bring someone forward from behind the curtain to discuss what's really happening. Our Department of Advanced Research show with Nick Ruiz, all available for you, plus our email service at davejanda.com on the premium service content side. It will put you months, if not years, ahead of the curve. And if you listen to our subscribers, they tell you the information we provide has, not hyperbole, actually saved their lives. Join us. I believe you cannot afford not to. You try it for a month, $9, 30 cents at $9. You don't have to sign up for it. You sign up for a month, and it renews every month. And if you don't want it, you stop it. But I don't know why. I really don't. I mean, there's no sense having a cable bill when you have our stuff because you get information you'll never get through the cable. Just save you $150 or whatever you're paying in cable. Today we're going to discuss the Bureau of Fraud. Now, there are many government agencies I could speak about. And to all those people say, Dave, when you point out the problems in the government, you're being unpatriotic. Stop. Unpatriotic is selling out the American people and to people of the world and lying to them. And that is not something I do or have ever done. So let's today talk about the Federal Bureau of, insurrection. I mean, they were integral in what happened, right? In that January event. Yeah. Just listen to Representative Clay Higgins, who identified several dozen of them that were in the building before the doors were even open. Oh, yeah. So the real question, I think, is who do we get to investigate the crimes committed by those who are supposed to be investigating the crimes? That's a good point. A new FBI whistleblower has provided evidence that the FBI has an internal political litmus test. Imagine that. Are you shocked? No, of course you're not. In order to get a high security clearance with the FBI, they need to know the following, according to this whistleblower. This has been confirmed, by the way. If they support vaccines, this is what they need to know to get a security clearance. If they support vaccines, if they support Donald Trump, if they support the Second Amendment, if they support abortions, if they support open borders. After admitting, this whistleblower, that he didn't take a vaccine, supports Donald Trump, supports the Second Amendment, did not support abortions, and did not support open borders, the whistleblower was denied his security clearance and was suspended indefinitely without pay. Shocking. Not. Despite all of this, the one political party, right? The Republicans, owned and operated by a criminal syndicate. Here's yet another example. The Republicans, along with the Democrats, just refunded the FBI and reallocated hundreds of millions of dollars to build them new headquarters. Yeah, a little beehive for their financial and all their other activities, criminal activities. So I made a little list of what the wonderful, most important law enforcement agency in the United States has been up to over the years. How about this? They covered up and possibly even participated in what happened to JFK, RFK, MLK. They came up completely empty on the, we have no idea what happened, on the Las Vegas shooting. There was some indications that there might have been maybe a touch of involvement. They have turned a blind eye to all of the human trafficking over the years. They, remember when we're talking about Olympics, we just had the Olympics. Remember, the Olympic gymnastics team had been training in Lansing, Michigan for years, and they had that doc up there that was sexually abusing the girls, of which the FBI became knowledgeable about it, but covered it up. They, over the years, decades, many decades, have allowed drug trafficking to occur. They protected Epstein. Good old Jeff, right? Yeah. Don't believe me. The Biden Justice Department and the FBI is hiding hard drives, tapes produced by Jeffrey Epstein and the intel agencies chronicling their abuse of individuals, including kids. This information is 1,000 times more powerful than the Epstein client lists and flight logs. The FBI, as we've outlined, was involved in illegal surveillance activity with both Mueller and Comey of political opponents of the globalist syndicate. Not just Trump and not just Flynn, but many thousands of others. That was the whole issue that we broke open in 2017 that now was admitted about 6 years later through the Washington Post, but we broke it open in 2017 on that whole hammer surveillance system that Mueller and Comey and Brennan from the CIA and Clapper and Obama and Biden and Hillary Clinton, that they were all involved with, Right. We have an entire series of our illegal surveillance series that's present on the bottom of our YouTube page if you're interested, that we've documented this over the past 7+ years. They covered up the entire Fast and Furious operation, where the FBI and the Justice Department with Eric Holder kind of running the operation under Obama were taking weapons and smuggling them to drug cartel members, killed hundreds, maybe a couple thousand Mexican citizens, killed Brian Terry, the border guard, Victor Avila, who's a regular guest in our platforms, a former special agent, was left for dead, shot with weapons from Fast and Furious. His partner, Jaime Sabata, died in the same ambush. Yeah. Good old FBI. We allowed that to happen. Of course, there's the entire thing with J6, right? Yeah. We talked about that at the beginning of this segment. Came up empty in that also J6 investigation as it relates to those pipe bomber people, right? Oh, we don't know. We can't find them. Come on. Can't find them. They planted evidence, well documented, in the Mar-a-Lago raid, where they had shoot to kill orders. Remember that one? That were authorized through the Justice Department, of which they're a part. But they admitted they planted evidence. And they stood down on the election interference operation, actually participated in election interference through the use of the Steele dossier, which was fraudulent, paid by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. So they've been involved standing down at a minimum 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022, and of course 2024. What are they going to do about that? I mean, they did such a great job at Butler, PA, right? In knowing that this guy was a bad actor from long before J13. Then they targeted anyone who happened to be wandering around on the grounds of the Capitol, not even going inside the building on J6. Oh, they had to interview them. They had to get down to the bottom line on that. Yeah, thank you. And then, when they weren't doing that, they were going after parents who were guilty of going to school board meetings. They deep-sixed the Hunter Biden laptop investigation. For years, they deep-sixed Seth Rich's laptop. Spun it on Russian hacking when it had nothing to do with Russian hacking. They led bogus investigations into Hunter's, not just his laptop, but his business practices. How about, what did they do on the cocaine issue in the White House? What did they ever find it? Nah, the Secret Service and them now, I'm not sure how it got there. And now they've been put in charge of the investigation for the Trump assassination attempt. No, don't try to find that on Google because it's not there, right? code was put in so you can't, in the search engine so you can't. Yeah. That was just a little mistake. The FBI was involved in censoring people, right? Working with the social media companies. Been documented. Yeah. Chief Law Enforcement Agency, United States. CIA officer and former FBI boasts, quote, "We can put anyone in jail and set them up." A CIA, this is from Christina Lale, a CIA officer and former FBI, the only thing I disagree on this is there's no such thing as former. Once you're in the CIA or FBI, you're in there for life, okay? It's like being in the mob. Is on undercover video, this FBI CIA dude, and told an undercover journalist and was boasting about using the might of the federal government to, quote, jail anyone by setting them up, end quote. Gavin O'Blennis, a contracting officer for the CIA, told an undercover journalist with Sound Investigations that the FBI, quote, can put anyone in jail and set them up. We call it a nudge. Oh, yeah, okay. I would call that a crime. And then, remember, one of the people investigating Trump on the whole fake Russian collusion hoax that the FBI was involved in perpetrating. Compromised investigations, a concern after arrest of an FBI counterintelligence official. This takes us back to January 2023. The FBI arrested one of its former agents on the suspicion that before and after he left the Bureau, he committed a series of crimes that include taking money from a former foreign agent and violating U.S. sanctions against Russia by working with and on behalf of a Russian oligarch with known ties to the Russian government. Charles McGoigle, retired since late 2018, was a special agent in charge of counterintelligence for the FBI's New York office, the largest in the Bureau. Disturbingly, McGoigle's alleged criminal relationship with foreign intelligence operatives is said to have begun while he was the head of counterintelligence operations there and continued after his retirement. This is the same guy who was involved in the fake linking of Trump to the Russians. But not to worry, right? Because they are involved in the investigation of the Trump assassination attempt. Okay. Ray, globalist, who's the head of the FBI, goes in front of a congressional committee and says, we're not sure Trump was shot with a bullet, of which they all panicked, and then the FBI came out with a statement less than 24 hours like, no, Trump actually was. And then they were trying to say, oh, this kid was a right-wing person. Yeah, we know that. New evidence refutes FBI testimony that Trump's shooter is far-right and anti-immigrant. From Deborah Hain from the American Greatness. A top FBI official made a point of testifying that President Trump's would-be assassin, Thomas Matthew Crooks, may have espoused far-right extremist viewpoints on an unnamed social media account 5 years ago. But that same FBI individual, tell the rest of the story, Paul Harvey, the old radio guy, but forgot to mention that Crooks may have shared pro-Biden's viewpoints on Gab more recently. FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate told senators on Capitol Hill that a social media account believed to be Crooks appears to have shared anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant, and extreme in nature posts in 2019 and 2020. Crooks would have been 14 or 15 years at that time. However, Gab, social media platform, CEO Andrew Torba, however, shared plenty of information on X about a Gab account the FBI appeared to believe was Crooks, saying the content of the post, quote, this is the CEO of Gab after they reviewed it, unequivocally reflected a pro-Biden, in particular pro-Biden immigration policy. And during the hearing that this guy testified, well, he could have been right-wing, Senator Marsha Blackburn asked Abate about the Gab account. She said, quote, we understand that the Gab account is pro-immigration, pro-lockdown, leftist views. Is that correct? The guy who just said, from the FBI, well, he sounded like he was right-wing. Quote, I haven't seen it directly, but I believe so from what I've been told. That's actually accurate, end quote. The CEO of Gab stated, the story is this. The account for which the data was requested, that the FBI requested from about crooks, was unequivocally pro-Biden, in particular pro-Biden's immigration policy. To the best of Gabb's knowledge as of 2021, Crooks was pro-lockdown, pro-immigration, left-wing Biden supporter. And we do know he also donated to Act Blue, to a fund that was pro-Biden and very much deleterious and spoke negatively about Trump. So the question comes back to what I posed earlier. Who do we get to investigate crimes committed by those who are supposed to investigate crimes? I believe there's only one way to handle this, and that is to get a group of 3 attorney generals that are not bought and paid for by the syndicate. Now, there are some attorney generals that have shown their cards that they are pro-freedom. A couple examples: the Attorney General of Missouri, the Attorney General of Texas, the Attorney General of Louisiana, and put them in charge of investigation of all this stuff, of the crimes of the government. Because if we are going to rely on the Federal Bureau of Insurrection to investigate itself, or the Secret Service to investigate itself, or the CIA to investigate itself, guess what? Garbage in, garbage out. You have to get people that have a track record of holding the globalist cult's feet to the fire of truth, facts, and data, and actions. It's called accountability. The globalists hate accountability, despise it, which is why we need a huge, hefty dose of accountability because of the fraud. The fraud has led to unnecessary death and destruction. It is leading to the unraveling of our constitutional republic. Until these people are held accountable, brought to court, given a fair hearing, and then I believe the evidence will be overwhelming of their guilt. And then they need to be sentenced. Because what they ultimately fear is going to jail. And that's the key. That's the key. That's how we flip this fraud into more freedom for the law-abiding public. Fact. I thank you for joining me today. We are available 24/7 at davejanda.com. Stop on by. You will not be disappointed, I promise you that. But you will be educated and empowered. And that's exactly what the globalist cult does not want. They do not want you informed. Because when you become informed, you become empowered. And then you network that information to all those you know and love. And they become empowered. It's a bucket brigade of truth and ultimately freedom. They don't want that. Because when the truth gets out, they get held accountable. And that's what they fear the most. I thank you for joining me today. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.